What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel once again. As you can see, we are in my shop, almost fully insulated now, just about done. But today we are going to start working on our monster B series motor. We are going to make 1,000 horsepower with this thing, come hell or high water. Definitely. I just, I want to make 1,000. It is what it is. There's all that talk, oh, I make 1,000, I make 1,000. I'm going to make 1,000. So what we need to make 1,000 horsepower, I've got it all right here. So check it out. I have got a set of MGP aluminum rods. That is a key component when you want to make 1,000 plus horsepower. Aluminum rods are definitely the way to go. I've got a set of Trom pistons. I've got King race bearings here. And I love King bearings. That's all I ever use. I do not use ACL or any of the other brands. King is my brand. And then I've got this. So this is the key to all of it. Let's open this up and show you guys this bad mamma jamma right here. Sorry about all that. This is my GSR block, B18C1. It's an RDOT block, so it was a replacement block. This came actually purchased from Acura new many years ago by Turbo Magazine. And then they used it for a bunch of photo shoots and tech articles. And then they sold it to me. It had some LA sleeves in it. And my friend Anthony Donalo over at Aidin Engineering, ADIN, Anthony Donalo. I would imagine that means Anthony Donalo Industries Engineering, but he re-sleeved this block for me, and what a fantastic job he did. Look at that, guys. This block was almost unrepairable. This is my original GSR block that dropped a sleeve, and it had some old LA sleeves in it that were like epoxied in, and it was just a mess. He had to actually get Darton blanks and then put these in, machine them himself and put them in. But if you guys can see, their clearance down there for aluminum rods. Block's already been bored to 81 millimeter. So we are ready to go, man. We are gonna start putting this thing together. I've got my crank down there. I'm gonna pull the crank out and show you guys the crank. So what we have here is a B18A1 crank. This is an LS crank. Unfortunately, GSR cranks don't grow on trees anymore. They are very hard to come by, and the crank that was in this motor, I should have let Anthony look at it before I trashed it, but I'm pretty sure it was pretty beat up on the mains and the rods, so I went ahead and trashed it. Our boy Tom came in clutch, hooked me up with an LS crank. They sent it out to the machine shop, had it straightened, micro polished, and we're gonna go ahead and get the micrometer out and measure it just to make sure that the rods and mains are where they need to be. And then we'll get this block flipped over, start getting the bearings in, get everything lubed up. All these parts have been thoroughly washed already. I'm gonna give them one final wipe down before they go in, but they've all been washed after coming from machine. And my rough measurement on the mains is 21695. They're saying it's a 21644, which that's right on the number. This crank has not been turned. It is good to go. The thrust area has been polished as well. It's freaking beautiful in there. They did a wonderful job on this crank. So we're gonna go ahead and get the block flipped upside down, get the girdle off, start laying everything out, go ahead and get the bearings in and get the crank. Got the main caps off now. First thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and put the oil squirter block offs back in. This motor, I do not need to squirt oil on the bottoms of the pistons. It's not a street motor. This is gonna be a full race aluminum rod motor. So we're gonna go ahead and put these plugs back. For me, building motors, guys, is making sure you have a clean work area. I closed up the shop, turned on the air conditioning, turned off the music, and I mopped this whole area clean and wiped everything down and made sure there's not, I'm in Arizona, there's dust in the air, but I've got the AC on, so that's filtering, and I mopped up. Usually I do it with like at my old house, I would wet the floor and just build the motor with a wet floor so no dust kicked up. But I've got the doors shut, and I mopped up in here, so it's very, very clean in here right now. I bought a kit, so it came with the mains, the thrust, and the rods for a GSR, but we're using LS rods and an LS crank. So the GSR mains will work fine on an LS crank, but the rod bearings you have to change because I'm using LS crank, LS rods. And the aluminum rods have a dowel hole in them. I'll show you guys when we get to that spot. And these bearings, you either have to drill them or get them with a dowel, and I got them with the dowel already in them. And again, I can't reiterate, guys, when you're putting a motor together, clean, clean, clean. Clean area. Make sure everything around just clean. And once these bearings are all in, I'll wipe them down again before they get assembly lube on them. Three. Four. See, the groove sits right there. We'll push that down. The last but not least, number 5. And I still can't get over how clean the machine works. And I've built motors way, way dirtier than this, guys. So for me, this is a friggin' bonus. So nice and clean. All right, well, I don't know if you guys can see that from up there, but too much assembly lube it's not too much. There's no such thing as too much assembly lube. So everything's wiped down. We are all good to go at this point. We're gonna go ahead and grab the crank. It's all wiped down and clean. We're gonna go ahead and set her in. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and put some assembly lube on the crank as well. And then I'm gonna start getting the main bearings set in the caps. So a little bit of lube goes a long way. Like I said, you can never use too much of this stuff. You don't ever wanna start a motor up dry. That's definitely bad news, boys. Mains have all been cleaned, tanked, washed. I'm gonna go ahead and start dropping bearings in. Even though I've got assembly lube there, I'm gonna put it here as well. Little dab on there, and then just run your finger along there. Make sure it gets nice and lubed up. Go ahead and sit that down. We're not gonna tighten it. We're just gonna sit it on there. Do number 5. See, just from sitting here, it collected a little bit of dust in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the cloth, wipe it down, and drop this main in. Another thing, main bolts that I wanna talk about. I am a stickler about my main bolts. I don't ever mix them up. So however they were out, is however I like to put them exactly back in as they came from Honda. That makes sense? That's how I like to do it. So I think at this point we'll go ahead and put half the thrust in on this side by putting some assembly lube on it and pushing it down. So guys, the thrust washers come with a smooth side and a groove side. You want the groove side facing out. So always groove side facing out. So like I said, we're gonna get this lubed up. We'll go ahead and put it in. A lot of the instructions in engine building will tell you to put this in first, but it's a pain in the ass to try to hold it there and get the crank in there at the same time. So like I said, we'll lube this thing up real quick, and then it should stick pretty well. Remember, groove side out, guys. Just sit it in the top, and you should be able to just roll it all the way around, just like that. Now that I've got the main girdle on there, all the bearings are in, I'm going to go ahead and just use my ratchet here. I'm just going to snug things up very, very gently. Like I said, guys, very gently with this before we get the torque wrench out. So what I want to do is get these in here gently, and then I'm going to push the crank around, make sure, oh, butter. It's like butter, guys. Just spins freely as can be. I love it. All right, we're going to go ahead and grab the torque wrench, get this thing torqued down. How this torques is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then the torque values are different. I believe these are 56 and these are 49. So we're going to go ahead and look that up real quick just to be sure. It's been a while since I've torqued a main, but I believe it's 56 and 49, or 56 on the outers, 49 on the inners. But we're going to look it up real quick, and then we'll get Big Bertha set up. All right, that was the last one. What we're doing next is I'm going to go ahead and pull these pistons out and start getting them assembled. I've got to file all the rings, set the ring gaps. So let's get all our info and our Trom stickers. Thank you guys, Trom, so much for hooking us up with the pistons. Appreciate that very much. Got those hooked up through our boy Tom. Always coming through clutch, man. Tom is always hooking it up. So we're gonna go number 1 there. These things are super nice. Look at that. So I've used these pistons on a couple of my J35 builds, and they're just badass. 3 and number 4. And then we're going to use buttons instead of clips on my motor. So I hate those oh shit clips, is what I call them. First thing I did is took the top oil ring and went ahead and set it in the bore. Now I'm going to take the piston, turn it upside down. I'm just going to push it down until that's straight in there. And that gap's at like 0, but pretty close to it. So you just want to make sure you're kind of even all the way around, and then stick your feeler gauge in there and see what your gap is right now. I'll tell you right now, if I put those rings on here and made boosts, just blow the top of these pistons right off. So we're going to go ahead and get these things. So I got it filed down. Look at that, boys. There's our gap. 23. So that's for number 1. We're going to move on to number 2, 3, 4, and so on. As you saw from the time lapse there, I got this 2 and 3 done. Going to move on to number 4 next. And as you can see, I've got the pistons and the rings laid out because these are all going to get cleaned again before they get assembled and get put in the motor. So, all right, guys, we're going to get to number 4. Jump back into some time lapse here, get the 4th one done. So that's it for ring filing. As you can see, I got the oil rings laid out as well. I'm going to go ahead and get the rods out. It's time to get the rods put on the pistons because some of the rings go over. Right here, it goes over and it holds. Full disclosure, guys, we got to stop what we're doing. I went to go start putting the pistons on the rods, and God, that looks beefy. And they put the wrong buttons in the box. So instead of using wrist pin clips, I'm using buttons. And they don't fit in the piston. So they're gonna need to be turned down, or I'll just have Trom get me new ones. But I need them ASAP because this motor has to go together this week. So I'm gonna call my boy Tom, see what he can do for me. See if he can get a hold of Barry over at Trom Pistons and get some of those out to me. Okay guys, so it is a couple days later. I've been feverishly working on that thing. I got a video coming out later about that. And I have got the right buttons for me to put our 1,000 horsepower B-Series motor together. So we're going to go ahead and get the rods and pistons laid out again like we had them, start getting everything assembled, and getting this bad beast ready to go in CHEBELLA. Hey, let's go. All right, we got the right ones? All right, boys. Well, full disclosure, another hang-up. I should have checked before, but I didn't. These rods, they're pretty fat down here. The problem is they don't fit in my tiny little bore. So even though it's been clearanced for rods down there, they, yeah, see what I'm working with? So piston will not drop through the ring compressor because I can't get the rod in the bore. I didn't check. I should have checked, but you know, it is what it is, guys. I just got off the phone with Tom. He's going to come pick the rods up. He's got some parts that I had Cerakoted for him. He's going to come pick the rods up, take them over to Aiden, to Anthony Donalo, machine them down, rebalance them so they'll fit in my small bore. And it's just another setback. I really wanted to take this motor with me to Speedfest and then possibly get it in the car beforehand, but it looks like it's just not going to happen. So it'll be a while before I jump back on this. The rod's got to go out and get shaved down and rebalance, so it'll be a while before I get those back. But that's the name of the game when you want to make big power with big parts. So it is what it is. We're going to get all this put back, wrapped back up in their boxes, put away, and then we'll get back to this video when we get the parts back and get the rods back from Tom. So stick around, guys. I'll fast forward to when the rods come. All right, guys, so all my aluminum rod motor plans have gone out the window for now. They're on hold. As you can see from this video, our boy Tom showed up out here, and I had a bunch of parts to be able to put one motor together with a set of Manley rods in it that'll make 800 to 1,000. Huge shout out to my boy Tom. Without him, I wouldn't be making Speedfest. He came out here, came in clutch, helped me clean everything and get my old motor put back together and up and running. Well, we're back in the shop today. Tom had to leave, unfortunately. He's got to get back to real life. We had an awesome vacation for a week in Mexico. As you guys saw from the time lapse, we got everything put together here. We honed the cylinders, got the new piston or the old pistons back in, new rods. Everything's together here. The head has been decked and it needs to be cleaned one more time. I'm going to go ahead and clean this. Then I can clean the top of the deck one more time again. And what I learned, again, I've been building Honda motors forever, but cleanliness is key, guys. Clean, clean, clean. Clean in, clean out. And Tom has taught me a bunch over the last couple of days working on this stuff that I never really took into consideration. So again, a huge shout out to my boy Tom Jung. Thank you so much for helping me with all this stuff, dude. And lifetime friend and just greatest guy you could ever know. But yeah, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get this thing put back together and get ready for PFI Speedfest. I am pressed for time. My transmission just got rebuilt. I had to put a new differential in it. And it's all together. I'm gonna go pick that up today and gotta put this whole swap back together, get it back in the truck because we are headed out to Colorado this week, put the motor back in the car and race PFI Speedfest in Kearney, Nebraska this coming Saturday. So I got my ARP L19 head studs back out of the bin, clean them again, put them back in, put in my OEM P30 head gasket because I only like to use OEM head gaskets. They have a built-in fire ring. Where some of the other ones do not. So got those torqued down to 90 foot-pounds, but 95 to 100 is 75% of its strength. So I torqued them to 90 like I always do because they're L19s, and the head is on. I haven't done the bottom end yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and start assembling the top end, put the cams in it, put the cam caps, valve cover, all that stuff back on. Then I'll flip it over and start doing the oil pump and all the rest of the stuff. All right, guys, well, as you can see, I didn't film a whole lot, but I went ahead and just got this whole thing put back together, valve cover on, oil pan, pickup, all that stuff is done. Intake manifolds on, I even bolted the turbo on. I'm going to go ahead and grab the hoist now, take it off the engine stand, and get the clutch and flywheel bolted to it, and then we'll get the transmissions in her car. We went and picked it up earlier, and we'll pull her car back here and get it out and get it bolted up, and then this bullet's ready to fire. She's ready to go. So I'm going to clean it up a little bit, clean up the valve cover some more, throw some aluminum polish on it, bling it up a little bit. But yeah, guys. Oh, almost forgot. We have to clean the turbo. I need to pull this fitting out of here, spray some brake clean through the center section, and let it drain out the bottom, because I want to show you guys how much metal shavings came out of just the VTEC solenoid. Look at that. So when you guys are reusing old parts, you have got to take that stuff apart and clean it. That was just in the very top of the VTEC solenoid, right where the electric part is. And this was in the rest of it. So to give you an idea of how much destruction was in that motor and going through my oiling system, I had to clean the cam caps, the cam oilers, everything had to be cleaned, washed, rinsed, brake cleaned, air. I mean, there was tons of debris in there. So really important, guys, if you're reusing the old stuff, to make sure you clean, and get it back together. But here is my, this motor should hold 1,000. This will be a 1,000 horsepower bullet if we turn it up. I don't know if we're going to get there on this turbo. We may get to 800. But on this turbo, it's rather small. On my new turbo that I have coming, it'll make 1,000 all day. And then my big aluminum rod motor is right there. That's going back to the machine shop to get bored to 83 mil. So the big end of the rods will fit in. But that's it, guys. This bullet is ready. We're going to get it put back together, get it loaded up in the truck, off to PFI Speed for PFI Speed Fest, back on the dyno. I'll bring you guys along with me, and hopefully we can put up that big number. I am hoping for 1,000, but like I said, I don't think it's going to make it at that elevation on this turbo, but we're going to give it our all. So we'll see what it makes. But there it is, guys. That's my quest for 1,000 horsepower in my Honda. For now, we'll see what this makes, and we'll hopefully bring you guys along with us. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you click that like, share, subscribe, you know, all the things. And I know I've been watching. Only about 50% of you guys that watch my channel are subscribed, and it's free. It's easy to do. Just click that little subscribe button, and it really helps me out. So you guys jump in there, click subscribe, and if you want to support the channel, go on to theduneaddict.com, grab yourself some merch, hat, hoodie, sweatshirt, t-shirts, everything in stock and ready to ship right now. So thanks again for watching. We'll see you in the next video.